This is the hotly anticipated second part in my multi-award winning investigative muckrake on why EVs will never fully take over from internal combustion because, you know, facts. In part one, link up there, maybe, I covered off the smash hit singles, The Median Human Just Doesn't Want an EV and Never Will Want One, the haunting ballad, EVs are a cash incinerator for every car maker that has had a red-hot crack at them. Plus, they're completely ineffective as a climate change countermeasure. They're the most convenient political smokescreen ever, and who could forget, generally so preposterously inferior to combustion cars. And here we are, gagging for another 5 red-hot outrage-inducing facts. Hopefully, this is beyond sufficient to inspire you to pound that keyboard indignantly already with your elbows and or thumbs, depending on the screen on the device du jour. And, wow, we haven't even got to reason 6 through 10 yet. But fear not, proud defender of electric utopia. This is imminently to change. Brace for impact, therefore. Dude, 6 through 10, we're going in. I'm John Cadogan from AutoExpert.com.au, Newcastle cheap but Australia only website. Cutting right to the chase here. Reason number 6. Battery recycling is a looming environmental catastrophe. Who doesn't want one of those? Lithium-ion battery recycling is basically like all other recycling. It's a kind of nice but bullshit idea and a great sounding soundbite. That frickin' circular economy. Everyone I know loves recycling. They love the concept. They all do it. They've got their yellow bin and their green bin and their purple bin and their brown bin, whatever. You know, it's endless bins. The reality is recycling is a total fantasy. And even in the rare instances when it's not, it's just an energy-intensive mess, dude. If lithium-ion batteries were in fact such a valuable resource, why are specialist recyclers not queuing up over the horizon to receive your old batteries from your laptop, your power tools, your phones, etc.? It's because they're commercially worthless. Lithium-ion battery recycling is simply not economically rational. There's plenty of raw material out there. The CSIRO estimates that 90% of lithium-ion battery waste just goes to waste. It's even worse in America, where it's 95% goes to waste. Nobody in the government takes this seriously, and it's a very serious problem. A very Erin fucking Brockovich problem, I'd suggest. Lead-acid batteries are valuable in comparison because of their value, right? 99% of them actually get recycled. Ministerial bottom-feeding douchebags here can't even figure out who owns the responsibility for the batteries here or provide any sort of worthwhile custodial legislation, which is a national fucking disgrace. According to the CSIRO today, following the 2019 ban on just dumping lithium-ion batteries in landfill, quote, large volumes are stored in warehouses and scrapyards, creating a serious fire risk and potential for environmental contamination, unquote. Sounds like FUN to me, dude. This video is brought to you by Manscaped.com, and today we are literally hedging our bets with this trio of latest generation trimmers, the musketeers of man mowing, the latest weapons in the war against hair. Down there. Lawnmower 3.0 Plus, the Lawnmower 4.0 Pro, and finally, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. The Lawnmower 3.0 Plus feels premium. It's kind of hefty in the hand and definitely not a toy. It's got the second generation ceramic blades with skin-safe technology to reduce the risk of nicks and cuts. The Lawnmower 3.0 Plus emerges from the factory fully wrapped in this tactile rubber cladding, so no slipping and sliding in the hand. It's a quality grooming tool. Next up, the Lawnmower 4.0 Pro, which comes with a constant RPM motor. And that means it provides a powerful shave even if the battery gets low, which doesn't happen very often because there's up to 60 minutes of runtime per charge, which is rather a lot of grooming. This one has a travel lock feature as well. You just press and hold the light button for about 3 seconds to prevent accidental in-bag activation. It's wireless charging compatible, but if you're in a hurry, there's also fast charging, which allows you to crack on within minutes if you let the battery run down. Finally, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, which comes fully loaded with 2 skin-safe blade heads. So essentially, what you get here is 2 trimmers for the price of 1. You get a trimmer blade for bulk hair removal and an interchangeable foil blade for the final smooth over. Essentially, the job starts with the standard trimmer blade, and when you've got the bulk hair down, you just do a quick change out to this foil blade for the final smooth over. So your twins will be at the peak of their sleekness in moments. And trust me when I say, they love that. Standard across the range is Manscaped's skin-safe technology to help reduce the risk of nicks and cuts. Plus, they're all waterproof, which makes grooming in the shower a done deal, and cleanup is therefore a breeze. My challenge to you at this point is pick one. Your twins and everyone associated with them will rejoice at your newfound commitment to grooming. Go to manscaped.com/AutoExpert now. You'll get 20% off plus free international shipping when you use the promo code AEJC at checkout. That's 20% off plus free international shipping with promo code AEJC at manscaped.com/AutoExpert. Manscaped, your twins will thank you. Reason number 7. The batteries are simply not serviceable in electric cars. This is the single most expensive and resource-intensive component in an EV, and it's a throwaway. For fuck's sake. Hypothetically, batteries are serviceable, except Tesla's so-called structural batteries, I suppose, which are batteries full of epoxy or similar, some sort of glue designed to stop the car from collapsing on itself. Because Elon is a, quote, genius who at this point knows more about manufacturing than any human being currently alive on planet Earth. So, if one cell in a giant Tesla structural battery pack goes poopy in trow, the whole thing is therefore a throwaway. With other cars, like, say, a good example would be a Hyundai Ioniq 5, it's even worse. Although they could hypothetically repair the battery in that car, the typical car maker response is just to replace the battery, right? This is just like engines. They don't really work on engines. If your engine goes poopy, they just give you a new one. Same philosophy, and it's environmentally disgraceful, okay? This happened in the past 12 months in Canada twice, okay? Hyundai sent the owners, in each case separately, a quote for 60,000 Canadian dollars to replace the battery, which in both cases had suffered only minor damage and was clearly repairable. The insurance company takes one look at the bill and they just write the car off. This is not a win for the environment, dude, but it is why insurance costs for EVs are spiralling out of control. Number 8 now, the charging problem with EVs is never going to be solved. If there's a miracle, like a battery tech miracle in which you get to pump 50 kilowatt hours or something into the EV of your dreams in just 5 minutes next week, thus delivering more or less let's call it time parity with liquid refueling, I expect if we all got to do that, there would be a party of EV evangelists out in the street, in every street, all around the world, right? We're finally there. And that party would last about 30 seconds until the next major hurdle pops up, all right? My local servo, probably a bit like yours, for example, has 8 liquid fuel pumps, and they can all be used simultaneously. The number of pumps is not a random choice at any servo. That number of pumps is there because 8 pumps, in this case, is the number that best services the peak demand for fuel at that station. So let us do a thought experiment and wave Ron Jeremy's magic wand at the transition to electric utopia, where the 8 pumps are now 8 recharges, all capable of pumping 50 kilowatt hours into 8 EVs in just 5 minutes. Hallelujah, dude. It's a frickin' miracle. What could possibly go wrong? I'd suggest, here's what could go wrong. That's 400 kilowatt hours of energy in 5 minutes. To think about that another way, it's 400 kilowatt hours delivered in 1/12 of an hour, which is 5 megawatts, more or less, to run one shitty little suburban servo, right? 5 megawatts. Imagine rolling that out nationally to every servo. You know, it's not that hard, hypothetically, to generate the electricity required for a full fleet of EVs using coal. But amping up the distribution locally to servos is just a preposterous infrastructure challenge. Reason number 9, new battery technology. It's just a soundbite. Elon Musk carries the can for this one, times freaking infinity, dude. And so many other misconceptions in this area, I must say. He has issued so many fake new battery tech declarations and soundbites. It's almost as if you learning to scratch your ass left-handed is new battery tech. See if you can do it, dude. It's harder than it sounds. In reality, he's always used the same battery tech ever since Tesla, right? Lithium ion is a battery technology, right? You can make the cells bigger or smaller, and you can tweak the electrolyte chemistry and the construction, but it's all lithium ion battery tech. And there's plenty of tweaks you could do in manufacturing, I suppose, but it's all the same tech. Like, come on, it just is. Lithium ion was experimental from 1976 to 1990, I think, and it's been commercialized, like in production now, for about 33 years. That is 1/3 of a century, and it's been in automotive applications since about 2008. Call that 15 years, half of the commercial lifespan of the technology, okay? So calling it new technology is frankly ridiculous. Cutting it a break on this basis of purported recent emergence is also intelligence insulting. Lithium ion is quite a mature technology, and therefore the best we can hope for there is gradual incremental improvements over time. Supercapacitors are much hyped, but seemingly nowhere. Sodium batteries are a possibility, like a strong possibility, but only of a definite maybe, like perhaps. But the reality is, new technology, any new technology, takes like 15 or more years to roll out. Everything is a nice idea in a lab, okay? The way this works for non-technical dudes and dudettes is the periodic table of elements is known. When you're thinking about batteries, you start with the periodic table, right? And there are no magic undiscovered elements that you would want to stand near, okay? I suppose you could make one artificially in some Frankensteinian nuclear reactor, but all the basic elements about which you would hinge battery technology is known. Battery technology, battery chemistry works in a particular way, so the best elements for doing that are known. They've been written down in the periodic table for frickin' donkey's years. There's no secrets there. They have been known for frickin' decades, dude. Nice ideas get tested in labs all the time by PhD brainiacs, basically, but probably 9 out of 10 of them, the nice ideas, not the brainiacs, just can't be commercialized because of complexity and or money and or time, which when you think about it are just reflections of the same thing. This is why Tesla can't build the absurd number of Cybertrucks they proposed at the outset, 250,000 a year or whatever it was. The batteries use a production process in that vehicle that works in a lab but falls over all the time on the production line. And it is not new tech in the Cybertruck, right? It's a lithium-ion production process. New battery tech, frankly, is a fantasy. It might happen, but there's no evidence for that, right? Until it is flying down the frickin' production line and in thousands of EVs in dealer lots around the world, it's not real technology. Finally, the very end of the reasons, number 10, kind of significant. Everybody ignores a single inconvenient truth about EVs and the kinds of EVs that are popular today and being extensively marketed. Look at Tesla Model Y, Polestar 3, Polestar 4, Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, Kia EV6, EV9 and cars of this ilk, okay? They are all virtue signalling electric utopian monstrosities. And this seems to me to be their main function. Like you could cut up the absurd 100 kilowatt hour battery in an EV9 or Polestar 3, etc. And by that, I mean not physically cut it up like with a grinder or something, but you could deploy those limited resources quite differently. For example, you could make batteries for 5 very serviceable plug-in hybrids. And they would be better vehicles for the planet and their owners in almost every respect. Zero tailpipe emissions for the average daily commutes, and no special ops planning required for regional driving. No queuing endlessly at public charges during peak holiday periods. One EV9 to satisfy the ego of a single rich prick with an electric bee in his bonnet, right? That's one option. Or you take 5 medium diesel SUVs off the road for good and replace them with virtually identical sized plug-in hybrids. Seems like 5 times better to me. Anyway, alternatively, I suppose you could cut the EV9 battery into 10 home storage batteries, and that would effectively divorce 10 homes from the coal-fired grid, and they would be divorced from the grid 90% of the time. autoexpert.com.au/solar for more on that. I'll put a card up there if my aging brain can remember to do that. So, when you simply look at the concept of EVs and the kinds that are being deployed right now through the prism of opportunity cost, i.e., to what better alternative use could those resources be put, I would argue that putting all of those resources into just one vehicle for a single rich masturbator to appear green within, that's a monstrous waste, which I suspect history will judge us harshly for. Even a very serious electric utopian indeed, a preposterous self-abuser of the Kool-Aid, I doubt they could hope to win this particular debate. Now, I know that EVs might be your religion and electric utopia might well be your heaven, and you might think that I have therefore just committed heresy, blasphemy, and apostasy. I get that, dude. Understood. A different me would say sorry, but hopefully you can smell the I don't give a crap through your screen, because I really don't. It's a character flaw. On this, however, I would make 2 points. Electric cars are not actually a religion. They're just battery-powered cars, okay? It's just an alternative powertrain we are discussing, so get over yourself. Secondly, these 10 reasons across both of these episodes are based on facts. If you're cranky about the facts, I would suggest that reality doesn't care, and my give a shit tank is on E also. dude. But please don't let this stop you knocking yourself out in the comments. Pound that keyboard indignantly, dude, and use both brain cells flat out until the neuron overtemp warning light inside your eyes illuminates. Because the rest of us certainly could use a good old veggie shaken belly laugh.